Hey everyone, so I finally got my bullet journal for 2022. I'm just gonna do a little unboxing right now, and then I'm gonna switch over to a voiceover for my setup so that I can just kind of concentrate on what I'm doing. So yeah, let's go ahead and open this up. I'm just gonna start over here. Alright, so let's open up the lid. This is actually the third Arden Olive bullet journal that I'm going to be using. I think the first one I bought was in 2019 or beginning of 2020, I'm not quite sure. So yeah, packaging is always really nice, I think. I got the same sort of style of bullet journal as last year, so it has like a linen cover, which is really nice, and then an embossed gold flower on the top. I decided to go for the white moonflower design. I just thought this looked really pretty. It's a white linen cover, like I said, and it has this nice golden embossing of this flower. I always get really excited when I get a new bullet journal, so yeah, I hope you enjoy this setup, and I'm just gonna jump into the voiceover now. Alright, so to start off, I just wanted to show you my bullet journal from 2021 for those of you who are new to the channel. I just thought the two looked really nice together, and it's always crazy to me how much bigger a bullet journal gets once you've been using it for a year. But anyway, first I of course have to write my name, and I always somehow manage to write something a bit off-center, which this time it was my Instagram handle, but I feel like that's just part of my bullet journals at this point. I always like to skip the first page because it's just kind of awkward to turn. Also, as a little tip, I sometimes like to put some washi tapes underneath the left side so that it's nice and flat in the beginning, which just makes it a bit easier to write on. I ended up deciding on two of the Arden Olive Acrylograph pens, which is this dark burgundy and a mustardy yellow. The first page that I wanted to do was a little key, and for those of you who are new to bullet journaling, a key is a space where you choose which symbols you want to use in your journal and what they mean. I've been using the same ones for quite a while, but I wanted to change it up very slightly this time, so I actually split my to-dos into must do, should do, and can do, so that I can assign them a priority, and I think this will be very useful for me personally. I also always use a star for birthdays, and I'm also going to use a dash for any events. Of course, you can use any symbols that make sense for you, and that's the beauty of bullet journaling, so just choose whatever you think will work best for your lifestyle. As decoration, I decided on these simple plant doodles, which is actually really similar to my 2020 setup, but I generally tend towards more minimal yearly setups, and those doodles are just really quick and easy to do. I also added a border to make the whole page a bit more organized. Next up, I wanted to make a really simple 2022 cover page, and I really didn't want it to be too grand or anything, but just something cute and simple. I used a washi tape to outline a circle, and then I just wrote "Hey 2022" in the yellow shade. Also, just a quick note, I did actually plan everything out beforehand, so this is not like a spontaneous setup or anything. I just wanted to mention that in case you're wondering. Around the circle, I drew 2 more leaves, and then I just added some little dots all around as per usual. Then I remembered that I really wanted to try out a style of grid spacing guide that I saw in a video by Journaling with Nadia, and she said she got the idea from Junisan's studio, so I just wanted to give them credit. For this grid spacing guide, I cut out 2 of the pages of my old bullet journal because I had some in the back left that I knew I wasn't going to use. Then I wrote down a number for each square, and again, for anyone new to bullet journaling, a grid spacing guide is just a bit of a help so that you don't have to count all the squares every time you want to, for example, split the page into half or into thirds. So basically you write down how many spaces there are, and then you split up the page into halves or thirds or quarters, whatever you want. And this just depends on how you generally like to set up your spreads. So since I've been bullet journaling since 2018, I pretty much know how I like to split up my pages. If you want to know more about the system, Amanda Rachel actually has a really great video, and I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. Once I was done with the first one, I just cut off the excess paper and then rounded off one of the corners. Then I just did the exact same thing for the vertical guide, and I actually used my bullet journal from 2021 to just see how I actually split up my pages. So the really useful part for me is how these guides were attached into the journal. So you basically just secure them on the first page with a bit of washi tape so that you can flip them out and see them whenever you're setting up a page, and then you can just flip them inside again when you don't need them anymore. The next spread that I included in this setup is a yearly overview. So this is a space where you can write down any events and plan for the whole year, since you usually only set up 1 month at a time, and it's always just good to have a general overview of the whole year. In case you are planning along with me, please ignore the part where I write the title on the right page, because I'm actually going to cut that off to make a Dutch door spread. I split up my page into 4 sections, so I will need 3 pages for all of the 12 months. In the past I usually used 2 pages, but I thought I would give myself a bit more space this year. So as you can see, I just made some really simple sections for each month, with a lot of space to write down birthdays and other events. I did the same layout for all of the months, 1st January through August, on these 2 pages. Then I cut off the top part of the right page where I had written the title, which makes it into a so-called Dutch door spread. I'm not actually sure where this name comes from, but a Dutch door spread is basically where you cut off one part of a page so that you can see the next page no matter where you turn it, if that makes sense. I don't think I explained that very well, but I think you can see what I mean. With this one, it just means that you don't have to write the title again for the 3rd page of the month, because you can just see it at all times. Anyway, I just repeated the sections for the last 4 months. Since the right page was blank, I decided to add a gift ideas section so that I can just write them down all throughout the year for Christmas or birthdays. Moving on, I wanted to include a 2022 themes spread, which I also did for last year as well, and I just thought it was a cute idea. I'm not super sure where I got the idea from, but I definitely didn't come up with this. But I just made a little box for each month that I can fill with the theme and doodles that I come up with all throughout the year. I really love to look back on old themes, so I think this will be a lot of fun to fill out as the months go by. I also switched between the 2 colors for the titles just to give a bit more variation. By the way, the boxes are 5 by 5 spaces wide, in case you're wondering. And then the next spread would actually be the last one for the setup. I didn't want to include too many other spreads because I've just noticed throughout the years that I tend not to use them a lot. So for example, I used to do like recipe ideas and things to check out sections, but they just ended up staying empty, so I just decided to leave those out this year. This last spread is just a space where I want to write down my goals and milestones for the coming year. I made a subscriber count tracker for my YouTube channel, which has been growing so fast, and I'm grateful for every single one of you. And I'm so excited to see what the new year will bring for this channel. And just to clarify, I don't really care a lot about subscribers or views, because what makes me happy about creating content is just interacting with you guys, reading your comments, or seeing your recreations on Instagram. Every time I read a nice comment, which I also just want to thank you all for being so positive, it just warms my heart and makes my whole day. So yeah, not to get too sappy, but I just wanted to thank you all for the love and support, and I hope we can continue building our little space on this platform. So back to the setup. Lastly, I just added a section for my personal milestones on the bottom half, and I just left it empty so that I have space to write down all my goals and everything later. Alright, so I'm all finished. I don't think I want to add any more pages right now. I thought about maybe adding like stuff to check out sections and like YouTube ideas and stuff like that, but I usually just use my notes app on my phone for those kind of things, so those pages usually just stay empty in my bullet journal. So yeah, I decided to just leave it here, and then I'm gonna jump into my January setup over here on these pages. So yeah, let me give you a little flip through. I also just left this page empty because I just find it a little bit awkward to turn the page here. So I just started on these two pages with my key and my cover page. I also wanted to try out a bit of a different system because I find it quite useful to split up my to-dos into must do, should do, and can do, so that I just have a bit of a priority list. I also have this little grid spacing guide over here that I can just kind of pop out. I might actually put it in a little bit different because the washi tape here is just barely holding on, but I definitely think this is going to be quite useful because I use these and these ones quite a lot for my setups, and you can just customize them. You could also just not attach them here but just put them in the back pocket or something like that. That's totally up to you, of course. So yeah, then next up I did a little overview page. I actually didn't write down any of the dates this year because I don't usually refer to the dates, to be honest, so I just kind of did sections for each month where I can just write down my events and birthdays. And I just did this little Dutch door spread, which as you saw, I messed up the title there because this page was still empty. I just decided to do a little gift ideas section because I like to kind of collect gift ideas all throughout the year, especially for Christmas and also for birthday presents. And then lastly, over here I have my 2022 themes page. I did the same thing for my 2021 setup, and I thought this would just be kind of fun to look back on at the end of the year again. And then over here I just did a little milestone section for YouTube and personal stuff. I have a lot of goals this year, so I want to write those down over here and then just tick them off when I accomplished them. And also I thought this would be kind of fun to look back on at the end of the year. I might actually write the date when we hit certain goals. So yeah, I thought this would be kind of fun. But yeah, I really enjoyed making this spread. I think it turned out really cute, and I can't wait to get to use it actually. I'm also gonna film my January setup probably tomorrow because it's already dark outside. But yeah, those two videos are probably gonna be posted pretty close together. So yeah, I hope you don't mind, but I thought I would get them out as quick as possible. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you again in the next one. Bye!